I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of December 21st, 2016. I can't remember what day of the week, what date it was. I know we're only 4 days from Christmas, but December 21st, 2016.
Also known as the winter solstice, if that's your jam.
Yes.
The days can only get longer.
That's good.
The nights will get shorter.
Yes. We're coming to you from Alter Ego Comics, an award-winning comic book shop in Lima, Ohio, where we work and read lots of comics on New Comic Book Day Eve, and then come back and tell you which ones we like the best, so that you don't waste your time on stuff that sucks. Or something. That's actually the new tagline for the show.
Life's too short to read sucky comics.
There you go. Life's too short to read sucky comics. My pick of the week this week is The Amazing Spider-Man number 22 by Dan Slott, Christos Gage, and Giuseppe Camuncoli. And this picks up right after, really, literally, right after the end of the Clone Conspiracy number 3. There's a big warning on the first page that you need to read Clone Conspiracy number 3 before you move forward with Amazing number 22. And it's just so good. The writing is top notch, and the thing that gets me here, it's revealed at the end of Clone Conspiracy 3, and it's been out for several weeks now, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything, that the Jackal is actually Ben Reilly, aka the original clone of Peter Parker that Professor Miles Warren made back in the 1970s in real time, but who knows how long ago it was in comic time.
Amazing Spider-Man 149?
Maybe, I don't know. They show the cover in here. It's pretty cool. Well, as he's having flashbacks. So you find out that Ben Reilly is behind this whole thing, and this issue tells you why. So if you want the why of the Clone Conspiracy, this is where you're going to find it. And it's emotional. It packs a punch to the gut, and it's just so good. So,
it also packs some punches to the face.
Yes, there are also punches to the face. It's just excellent. If you're reading Clone Conspiracy, this is a must-buy. If you're a Spider-Man fan and you're not, I question whether you are truly a Spider-Man fan. It's just so good. Amazing number 22, my pick of the week.
My pick of the week is from Dark Horse, new number 1, Dead Inside, written by John Arcudi, who you may remember is writing like everything for Dark Horse, and art by Tony Fazzullo. And this is the story of a cop who works for the prison investigative division in, I don't even know what state we're in, I don't think they ever actually tell us, but wherever they are. And she gets called to the scene of a double death. So they're ruling it a homicide or a homicide-suicide, and she's trying to solve this crime about why these people died inside, how they got dead inside. And it's very, very good. The scene elements don't add up, and it's actually less about the murders, although obviously that's kind of the main thrust of the plot. It's more about her personal life and about the red tape and bureaucracy of the prison system and under-the-table dealings and, why do people want things covered up or investigated. And it's just really, really compelling. I knew nothing about any of these characters going in because they're all original, and by the end you have a kind of a good grasp of the different relationships, and you kind of want some of them to succeed and others to not, and it's really well. I was just amazed. Not that John Arcudi hasn't done good work before, but I was very happy with the Dead Inside.
It did not leave him feeling dead inside.
It did not.
Lots of new number 1s this week, and we'll kick that off, we did, with Dead Inside, but on my side of the aisle here, Gamora, number 1, written by Nicole Perlman, who, if I remember correctly, was co-writer on the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Someone can fact-check that for me. I assume it'll be Josh as he edits this video. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Artwork by Marco Cicchetto, who is one of my favorites. He did the Greg Rucka run on Punisher. Really good stuff. So this is a Gamora prequel. You find out what happened before Guardians of the Galaxy. And you find out that she's the last survivor of a race that was obliterated by another race, and she is seeking vengeance, but she also is kept in a cell by her quote-unquote father, Thanos. Not sure exactly how that happened. It's kind of explained a little bit. We also get Nebula in here, who is just a sorry substitute for Gamora, according to Thanos. She is really abused by Thanos verbally in this issue, as she kind of was in Guardians of the Galaxy as well. But If you like the character of Gamora or Nebula or Thanos and you're curious to see what happened prior to the film Guardians of the Galaxy or the appearance of Gamora in Abnett and Lanning's Guardians of the Galaxy comic book run, this is for you. It is top-notch, great artwork, great story, and very, very good.
Nicole Perman was co-writer on Guardians of the Galaxy. She grew up in Boulder, Colorado.
That's why I know things. I have so much useless information in my head. Gamora gets a thumbs up for me.
And I liked that they interwove the movie continuity with the comic continuity. Nothing in there, I don't think, directly contradicts any of the past Marvel stuff. It all kind of fits within it, or really before most of it. So I thought that was cool. Also new, number 1, and Guardian Z, we've got Star-Lord number 1, written by Chip Zdarsky, with art by art by Chris Anka. And this, like all the Guardians books, except Gamora, since it's a flashback book, is under the grounded thing. So by the end of Civil War II, pretty much all of the Guardians' ship is wrecked up, and they are trapped on Earth, full of primitive backward apes like us. So we've got a new Rocket series coming out. He will also be grounded. The Guardians regular book is in Grounded, where we saw Ben Grimm last week, and this week we get Star-Lord number 1. So I was going to say Peter Quill is trapped on Earth. Chris Pratt is trapped on Earth in a world he didn't create. And we get to see, he's never really lived on Earth meaningfully. He doesn't know a lot of people, and we see what he does when he can't be off swashbuckling across the galaxy, shooting people and punching people. Like all Zdarsky stuff, it's very funny and whimsical. We get a number of cameos by different Marvel characters you'll recognize who have past existing relationships with Peter. And yeah, it's good. It's fun. If you like Star Wars, if you like Star Wars, you'll like Star-Lord number 1.
You will.
He's Han Solo, but not.
Kinda. Next up is Justice League vs. Suicide Squad number 1. This is a 6-issue miniseries that is either weekly or bi-weekly. I don't remember, honestly. Written by the always awesome Joshua Williamson. Artwork on this first issue by Jason Fabok, the also always awesome Jason Fabok. There'll be a different artist on every issue, if I'm remembering correctly, but DC has been pimping this for several weeks now, several months, and it was a solid first issue. I think one of the reasons I really liked it is because I'm reading Suicide Squad on its own. I'm not reading Justice League, full transparency here, but I'm familiar with the Justice League and what it's supposed to be like. So to see the Justice League go, wait a minute, something's up. These characters or these villains are like working together, and Batman has got the background story on the Suicide Squad to some extent because of his collaboration with Amanda Waller and the I Am Suicide arc going on over in Batman. So Batman comes back to the Justice League, says we can't really let this continue, and that sets up a confrontation between the Suicide Squad and the Justice League. But it's almost like the Justice League is trying to save the members of the Suicide Squad. They're like, we can help you, we can hide you from Amanda Waller, and Waller basically says, if you go with the Justice League, you die. So that is basically the groundwork for the first issue, but there is a villain working behind the scenes who's assembling another team of borderline bad guys. Some are just flat out bad guys. They're all bad guys. And that reveal is interesting because it's a character that I haven't seen in a while. I don't know where he was before in the New 52. He's
been in the New 52, but not much.
Yeah, so DC fans, this is a must-buy, must-read. Justice League vs. Suicide Squad looks like it's going to be a fun ride. And again, look for it weekly, bi-weekly. Again, Josh will fact-check it before he edits the video.
I'm pretty sure it's weekly.
It's weekly, but I think there is a week. Maybe it's next week.
Because of the holiday
where it gets screwed up. But excellent stuff.
Invincible Iron Man number 2, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Stefano Caselli. This continues the story of Riri Williams trying to become a armored hero in the absence of Tony Stark, with the assistance of a crazy AI Tony Stark in her suit. And if you want to read Tony Stark, this is the only place to find him currently in the Marvel Universe. And it's brilliant. I really like the way there's a detectable difference between the way Bendis wrote Tony Stark and the way he writes the AI Tony Stark. It's supposed to be a copy of Tony's brain, but computers aren't people, and I like it. I like that there's a difference, but it's not significant. Still a lot of the qualities you liked in Tony are present in there. And it's kind of weird. Normally he's the one with a robot talking in his head, advising him of things, Friday or Jarvis or whoever. So this is mostly training, trying to get her ready for what's going on, but we also continue to see more flashbacks about the relationship with her friends and her family that kind of formed her into the person she is. And it's great. It's awesome new comics, largely about a new character through the lens of one of Marvel's greatest heroes.
Yeah, Marvel continues to build its stable of young heroes. Riri is 15 years old, so she falls square right in there with Miles and Sam Alexander and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and just lots of folks. And I know there are some folks out there that are not really thrilled with that maybe you'd be happier if they had different code names rather than, this is the new Iron Man, this is the new Thor, this is the new Nova. But I encourage everyone to give these a shot. I think some people are criticizing, they're kind of being armchair quarterbacks without actually reading the material. But all of these young heroes are worth checking out, and they're very, what's the word I'm looking for, reminiscent of the beginnings of the Marvel Universe, where you had young X-Men, which oddly enough are still around in the Marvel Universe, and a young Peter Parker dealing with high school issues. So this is, I think, appealing both to a younger audience, but also to those of us that grew up reading younger characters in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, this is no different than the Silver Age. Johnny Torch was not the first Human Torch at Marvel Comics.
Johnny Torch.
Johnny Storm. Hal Jordan was not the first Green Lantern. Barry Allen was not the first Flash, but they're great characters, and I think they'll survive.
Yep. Next up for me, I'm really thrilled to see this one, is Star Trek Green Lantern #1. Stranger Worlds is the name of this miniseries, and the Spectrum War was the first Star Trek Green Lantern miniseries written by Mike Johnson. This is also written by Mike Johnson, as is every Star Trek book written by Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Which is great, because we talked about Bold to Go last week. He's just doing an amazing job with the Star Trek universe. Artwork on this is by someone Hernandez. Angel Hernandez. Good stuff. Great likenesses to the actors that you're familiar with from the J.J. Abrams universe. So this continues the story. Basically, and this is the hardest thing I have, the biggest problem I had with this issue is wrapping my brain around the fact that the Green Lanterns now exist in the J.J. Abrams universe, and their universe has been destroyed. So is their universe our universe? It's kind of like alternate timelines sort of thing. But
was the Kirk universe destroyed when they created the Kelvin universe?
No, but they say literally their universe is destroyed. So you've got Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan and Kilowog and Jon Stewart and all the Lanterns that survived.
Plus some Lanterns of other...
St. Walker and...
Carol Danvers,
Star Sapphires. Carol
Ferris.
Are all in the J.J. Abrams movie Star Trek universe, as well as Sinestro, who's hanging out with the Klingons, so you gotta love that. This is just such an excellent read, and one of the best crossovers I've ever read. I mean, it flows logically, in this series, the characters have been together for a while, so, Hal Jordan is almost a member of Kirk's crew on the Enterprise, and Guy Gardner is giving a presentation in front of a Starfleet Academy. Just really good stuff. You want to check it out. If you haven't read the first one, pick it up in trade paperback or hardcover. It's out in one of those two.
I think it's out in both now.
This is for either if you're a fan of Star Trek or a fan of Green Lanterns or both, you will not be disappointed by Stranger Worlds or by the Spectrum War. Good stuff.
Dr. Aphra #2, written by Kieran Gillen, art by Kev Walker. We continue to see more of the backstory of Dr. Aphra. It's not really her backstory, it's more about her relationship with her father, which I guess is sort of inherently backstory. But it's very cool to see this relationship. Gillen kind of fleshes it out through their interactions rather than through flashbacks and the way they approach things. And we also get some excellent humorous asides from the droids. And yeah, Dr. Aphra is awesome. If you were reading Darth Vader and liked it, there's no reason not to check out Dr. Aphra. It's the same writer, it's mostly the same cast, it's Star Wars, and that's a good thing to be right now.
Also a good thing this week, another #1 issue, but it's also a one-shot, Locke and Key, Small World, by the Locke and Key team of Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Locke and Key is one of our favorite series of the last decade, easily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that we recommend almost weekly to people. It's so good. Which is about a family that is in basically their 200-year history with Key House, which is their ancestral home, and there are all these keys that exist there that do different magical things. Some make you taller, some make you smaller, some turn you into animals, some turn you invisible, just all kinds of stuff. And so this is a one-and-done story from the past following other members of the Locke family, and I can't say too much without giving it away, I guess, but...
we see a key that I don't think we've ever seen before.
Yeah, there's a key that we haven't seen before. There are characters... Have we seen these characters? Maybe briefly, but...
I don't... Maybe when they were older, because this is like 1912, 1914, something like that. It's the first part of the 1900s. So we did see a story in the 20s or 30s, but I didn't immediately...
We did, that was the
I didn't immediately
one.
Connect any of them to those characters.
Did you read this?
Yeah.
Did you read the back matter?
I skimmed it. I had read part of it before, because it's in other IDW books.
Because they're basically, this is the third one-shot that Locke and Key has done, that Hill and Rodriguez have done, and they all kind of fit together in different places, and I guess they have a few more that they're working on that will be collected in a collected edition somewhere down the road. For Locke and Key fans, one of the cool tidbits at the back, there's basically an interview between Ted Adams, who's the publisher of IDW, and Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez, that Hill and Rodriguez have kind of mapped out a new 37-issue storyline, which I want it now. Like, now! So, again, can't tell you too much, except if you have read Locke and Key, you want this. You're going to want this for your collection. If you have not read Locke and Key and you like kind of supernatural family stories, it's basically it's a supernatural drama is what I would call it. And it is so good. 6 volumes. They're all available in both softcover and hardcover. Do yourself a favor and jump into Locke and Key at some point, because you will be glad that you did.
And last up for me this week is Sam Wilson, Captain America number 16, written by By
Durf Nerfherder.
By Nick Spencer, with art by Angel Unzueta and Simon Kurdoransky. Kurdoransky. Got it, eventually. But this is, as you can tell from the cover, basically a story about Misty Knight. Sam Wilson takes a weekend off to kind of decompress after his life functionally being destroyed by all the stuff going on. He and his brother go to watch the leaves change in New England.
Oh.
And Misty says she'll cover stuff, and while Sam is gone, she has to go off to Miami and fight a minor villain who's interacted with Sam and Ant-Man and a few other people before. But the real drawing here is, if you watched Luke Cage. Woo! I don't know anyone today.
Josh is having problems.
And enjoyed Misty Knight.
Post-birthday problems.
Yes. And enjoyed Misty Knight in that. You totally want to check this out. This is very much that character. It gives all the backstory for Misty you need if you're not familiar. And we get to see Lady Stiltman, or just Stiltman as she's known in non-misogynist circles. And we also get to see the night nurse, who is literally being drawn exactly like Rosario Dawson.
Yep.
From Luke Cage and Daredevil.
Great. She's a great character. Misty
and they've
Knight
used her
on
previously, I don't know, 10 issues ago or so in Sam Wilson. She helped Sam with something else. But she's been in there before, but yeah. But they've actually, they're using the right name. It's Claire.
Oh, gotcha.
Who was another character from Sam and, mostly Sam and Luke Cage's history. Luke Cage, I think, is where she first appeared in Power Man and Iron Fist. But they've kind of melded her with Night Nurse for the show, and this is that version.
Good stuff. Due to time constraints, we're going to skip our also read or continue reading stacks, but there were lots of great things that came out this week.
Slam!
Most of them that we've read before, that we've mentioned before, that we want you to continue.
Literally all of them, I think.
Yes, Occupy Avengers, Avengers 2 point whatever, good stuff. And Slam! Trinity. So, if you found this episode useful, if you enjoyed Josh's brain farts, please give us a thumbs up and recommend the show to some of your friends. You know, if you've got other people that you know that read comics and think they would enjoy the show as well, please pass it on. And hit the subscribe button so you're kept in the loop on when our latest episodes get uploaded. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And we invite you to continue the conversation about comics that are awesome in our private Facebook group, which we will put in the comments as well, in the show notes. So we hope to see you over there. When you go over there, make sure you introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what you like to read. Thanks for watching. We will see you presumably next week, but we want to say Merry Christmas because this is the last episode before Christmas. So I hope you and your families have a very Merry Christmas.